what does the title of most valuable player mean? Is it the most dominant statistical producer? Is it the consensus best player on the best team? And does two-way ability factor into the debate at all? Well, yes and no to all of these. Unlike other regular season awards, the goalposts for MVP seem to move year after year based on the candidates. Take Steve Nash, for example, who won back-to-back MVPs in 05 and 06 for piloting the deadliest offense since Magic's Showtime Lakers, even though his statistical output didn't appear as anything more than all-star level on the surface. On the opposite end of this spectrum is Russell Westbrook in 2017, who won MVP by averaging 31, 10, and 10 in arguably the biggest carry job in NBA history, even though OKC was only 6th out west that year. Traditionally, the MVP is awarded to a player on a top 3 team in his conference. So, is this dance between stats and team success the only calibrators we have for MVP? Well, not exactly. ESPN's Rachel Nichols and Ramona Shelburne are two voters who have publicly admitted to being more narrative-based voters at times. Ramona Shelburne specifically admitted to voting LeBron for MVP in 2020 for the storyline of him leading LA back to the promised land following Kobe Bryant's death. Giannis still won the award in a landslide, receiving 85 of 101 first-place votes, but this is still an example of how narrative can sometimes sway voters, especially as a tiebreaker. According to the NBA's most recent MVP ladder, our most likely MVP candidates for 2021 are LeBron James, Steph Curry, Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, Kawhi Leonard, Damian Lillard, and Chris Paul. From this list, it's probably safe to cross off Chris Paul, Damian Lillard, Luka Doncic, Kawhi Leonard, and LeBron James for now. Paul is a fantastic leader and floor general, but in an all-time great offensive season, I doubt Paul has the stats to captivate voters in comparison to other candidates. Lillard's Blazers have really fallen off this second half of the season, losing 10 of their last 13 games at the time of this recording as they fall closer to the 8th seed. Luka came into the season out of shape, which gave most media members and fans the impression that his MVP narrative at 21 years of age was unfairly premature. Also, his Mavericks are sitting firmly at the 6th seed for now. Kawhi Leonard has been a historically great playoff performer, but he doesn't appear driven to push his health for sustained individual dominance in the regular season, despite being 3rd in the West with the Clippers. LeBron James is also in a similar boat. After missing several weeks with an ankle injury, it's highly unlikely he'll be chasing MVP for the remainder of the season. And the last candidate we can probably cross off the list is the Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. His Bucks are 3rd in the East, and he's putting up nearly identical counting stats as last season. So why is it so unlikely he'll win MVP his 3rd year in a row? I'd chop this one up to the narrative. Giannis has the worst MVP narrative of any legitimate candidate this season. He's disappointed in both playoff runs after winning back-to-back MVPs, and winning 3 consecutive MVPs would put him in a prestigious group shared only by Larry Bird and Wilt Chamberlain. Voters are aware of this, and I can't picture them putting Giannis in the same company as 2 of the 10 greatest players of all time. This leaves us with our 3 most likely MVP candidates of 2021, Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, and Stephen Curry. None of these 3 have checked off all 3 boxes of individual stats, team success, and narrative, but they're all incredibly strong in at least 2 of those categories. Joel Embiid has been the single most dominant interior force since prime Shaq, and he's also hitting nearly 50% of his 400 mid-range jumpers to go along with his interior dominance. His 76ers are also currently bouncing between the 1 and 2 seeds in the Eastern Conference. Nikola Jokic might be having the best offensive season from a center in NBA history. He's already the best passing big ever, and he's hitting 56% of his 2-point jumpers along with 41% of his 3-point shots, though his Nuggets are only slotted 4th in the Western Conference currently. Stephen Curry's argument for MVP is a little different. He's going on his 6th year of being the best offensive player in basketball, and he's carrying his Warriors like no one else is carrying their team this season. 31 points per game on 66% true shooting tells you all you need to know. Curry doesn't quite have the team success in his corner, though, for MVP, as Golden State is currently straddling between the 8 and 9 seeds at 500, but he does have a chokehold on the narrative voters. After losing Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson, Curry has proven he's more than capable of carrying a poor offensive supporting cast, as Golden State is nearly 10 points per 100 possessions better with Curry on the floor. For comparison, the 76ers are 12 points better with Embiid on the floor, and the Nuggets are 7 points better with Jokic on the floor, all per 100 possessions. From here, we've got to start splitting hairs somehow. And since the MVP is a regular season award only, we ought to do that with minutes played. Availability is a skill, especially in a deadlocked MVP race. At the time of this recording, Embiid has missed 19 games this season. The last player to miss more than 20 games and win MVP was Bill Walton in 1978, which was a full 82-game season, by the way, not a 72-game season. Steph's case looks a little bit better here, only missing 8 games so far, in which his Warriors went 1-7. It remains to be seen how much that matters when you're a borderline playoff team, though. This leaves us with Nikola Jokic, who's averaging 26, 11, and 9 on 64% true shooting, about 7% over league average. His Nuggets are the 4th seed, but where Jokic's case truly shines has been in his availability. He hasn't missed a single game this season and is second in total minutes played behind only Julius Randle. I can't tell you necessarily who should win MVP this year, but it seems clear at this point that Embiid, Jokic, and Curry have the 3 most polarizing cases for voters. And at this point in time, Nikola Jokic has the least number of holes to poke in his MVP case. This was just a quick synopsis of who we can expect to be the final 3 candidates for MVP this season. If I were to pick an MVP, it would probably be Nikola Jokic at this point in time, but we've still got about 3 weeks to go before the playoffs start, so a lot can change. By all means, let me know who you think will win or should win MVP. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you all in the next one.